Amboseli National Park is not a forest park. It is mostly open ground with tracks that cut straight across it, so nothing stays hidden for long. The water here comes from underground streams fed by snow melt from Mount Kilimanjaro, even though the mountain itself sits across the border. Around the park, Maasai herders still move cattle along agreed routes, so wildlife and people share the same wider landscape. Wildebeest do not pose or linger. They keep drifting, stopping only long enough to graze before shifting again. When one breaks into a short run, a few others follow, not out of panic, just habit. Hippos in Amboseli spend the day packed into shrinking pools, pressed close enough that you can see the texture of their skin from a distance. At dusk, they file out quietly, using the same paths night after night to reach grazing ground. Amboseli's elephants are easy to find, but that does not make them predictable. Researchers have followed many of these families for decades, so some of the older females are known by name and history. You will often see a matriarch pause at the edge of a road, testing the air before deciding whether the group crosses. The younger ones do not wait well. They bunch up, nudge, and try to move ahead until they are called back into line. Their tusks here are often long and curved, partly because the soil is soft enough that they do not wear down as quickly. In the swamps, they dig with their trunks for roots, then rinse them in water before eating. Dust baths are not occasional. They happen throughout the day, especially when the ground is dry and loose. Lake Leakey is not always marked clearly on visitor maps, but guides know it as a reliable green patch when other areas thin out. It is one of the places where underground water reaches the surface, keeping the grass short and edible. You will often find a mix of species here, not because it is scenic, but because it works. Lake Amboseli is often dry enough to drive across, leaving a pale crust that breaks under the tires. In the dry months, animals cut straight lines toward the swamps, and you can read their movement in the tracks left behind. The air carries fine dust that settles on everything. It is also when you understand how dependent this place is on water that you rarely see directly. Mount Kilimanjaro does not always show itself. Clouds often sit low enough to hide it for most of the day. When it clears, it looks closer than it is, almost like a backdrop placed behind the plains. At sunset, the light drops quickly, and the mountain can disappear just as suddenly as it appeared. What stays is the outline of animals moving in the foreground long after the color has gone. Amboseli is not about ticking sightings off a list. It is about staying long enough to notice patterns. The same road, the same water, the same herds. Each pass shows something slightly different. That slow familiarity is what people tend to carry with them when they leave.
tena, tunasema leo na kuanza upya, na kila tabasamu lako dogo ni sababu ya kuendelea mbele.